There are two types of serves in volleyball, which are the underhand serve and the overhand serve. And for the overhand serve, we are going to focus on just one type only, which is the floater. Firstly, we are going to focus on the underhand serve. You need to use your dominant hand to strike the ball. So, stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and your dominant foot backward. Hold the ball low around your waist level and out in front of yourself with your non-dominant hand. Next, the important part is to make a fist with your dominant hand and swing it to strike the ball. Lastly, swing your hand so that the fist makes contact with the underside of the ball.
The next type of serve is overhand floater. Step 1. Place your feet in a proper position. They should be shoulder width apart, with your non-dominant foot leading. Step 2. Hold the ball in front of you. Place your non-dominant hand directly in front of you, straight but with a flexible elbow. The palm should be face out with the ball in it. Step 3. Ready your hitting hand. Swing your serving arm back next to your head. Make sure that your elbow is pointing outwards and your hand is at or slightly above your ear. This stance opens your body. Step 4. Toss the ball into the air. Lift the ball with your palm about 18 to 36 inches in the air. Keep the ball in line with your hitting shoulder and about 1 foot in front of you so you can step into the serve. Step 5. Hit the ball with the heel of your dominant hand. Add momentum to your hit by stepping forward with your dominant foot as you serve. Make sure that your serving hand is slanted slightly upward.
How to sharpen your skills? For the first activity, serve ball at close range, then gradually move far away. The players start serving the ball at close range. Once finishing the first round, the players will gradually move far away to serve the ball. This will give the players more power to send the ball further and able to send it past the net. For the second activity, serve ball to the right and left zones. The players will serve the ball to the right and left zones. This activity can be repeated up to 10 sets to make it more proficient. And lastly, serve ball at the serving zones. There will be 2 teams involved in this activity. One player from the team will become the target at the side of the court. The player that do the service will move to the back of the court to wait for second turn. The player who become the target will catch the ball and pass it to the back for others to do the service.
Lastly is mini games you can do using the service skill. So these mini games will help you to further improve your skills. So the first game will be service before the service line game. So how to play this game is that firstly, players will line up at the service line. Secondly, one player is in the middle of the court to catch the service ball from the opponents. The third step is that after the ball is received, the player will move back to the service line. And the last step is that other players will take turns to receive the service ball from the opponents. So secondly is service to the wall game. This game will help players to further improve the accuracy on their service. So the ways to play this game is that firstly, by using underhand service, aim the service to the wall from the same spot. Secondly, 5 times trial was given and the total points will be given based on the accuracy of the service. And lastly, this game can also be played by using the upper hand service.
Third is service passing through the loop. First, do the underhand serve in 6 meter range and gradually move forward until you reach 9 meter. A point is scored when the ball passing through the loop. So the last activity is service to the targeted zone. This activity will help to control the power and the accuracy of the serve. First, the player needs to do the underhand serve before the service line. Second, 5 to 10 attempts are given to serve the ball to the targeted zone. Points will be given according to the difficulty level. Lastly, the total points will determine the winner.
Digging in volleyball. Digging is a way to prevent the ball from hitting the floor after being spiked by the opposite team. Place your thumbs side by side and overlap the fingers of your stronger hand over the curled fingers of your weaker hand. Place your arms in receiving positions. Arms are bent and out in front of your body. The way to position your hands is stick both hands in front of you. Place one hand on top of another and bring in thumbs. Make sure when you dig the volleyball, you hit the ball with the fleshy part of your hands as shown in the picture. Bend your legs with one of your legs is placed to the front and the other at the back. Avoid giving back to the target. You might likely end up with the wrong target. Face the target. This will help you to secure your target. The ball is hit by straightening your hands and feet. Don't swing your hands too high. Relax your hands and body. Then hit the ball high.
to learn about mini games related to setting in volleyball. The first mini game is throwing with two hands to target loop. Here is the game instruction. 3 players hold the loop with high in the middle. The player who successfully throws the ball going into the loop is supposed to get 1 point. Lastly, diversify the height of the loop. There are 2 types of variation, stand up and sit down. The next mini game is game in front of the net. Game instructions. 2 groups of players compete within 3 meters, which is front zone. Team A begins with a toss ball to the opponent. Team B player catch the ball after the ball bounces once. Bounce the ball high to teammates and teammates make an overhead pass to the opponent within 3 meters. There are 3-point count. First, points are earned if the opponent fails to catch ball after ball bounce back, the ball does not get past the net, and the ball come out of the 3 meters area. The next mini game is making an overhead pass to the opponent. Here is the game instructions. 2 groups of players compete in the court. Team A begins with a toss ball to the opponent. Team B catch the ball after the ball bounces off. Bounce the ball high to teammates and teammates make an overhead pass to the opponent. Points are earned if the opponent fails to catch the ball after the ball bounces once or the ball does not pass the net. The next and last mini game is making an overhead pass follow-up to spiking. Here is the game instruction. 2 groups of players compete in the court. Team A starts by making service to the opponent. Player 1 from Team B catch ball and bounce the ball high for Player 2. Player 2 make an overhead pass to Player 3. Player 3 make a spike. Points are earned if the opponent's ball failed to cross the net or send ball to the opponents without 3 touch.
Basic skill of spiking. Step 1. The spiker stands up to 3 meters from the net. Then the spiker takes some steps, ready to run forward slowly. Step 2. The spiker runs slowly toward the place she wants to do a jump. The spiker will take the time frame for the next step. If the spiker force is on the right hand, he needs to make sure the right foot is in front and the left foot behind while running. Step 3. Next, the spiker will be ready to do the jump with both feet, while the right hand for right hand users is lift to receive the ball. Step 4. Jumping is done and the hand that receives the ball is ready to make contact with the ball by flashing back a little bit of his body. The spiker target is aiming at the spot he/she wants to strike in opponent's court. The jump must go over the net and the hand position must be above the ball to get a proper shot. Step 5. The spiker's hand contacts the ball and makes sure the ball is released to the target. The spiker landing by slightly flexing the knee area to reduce absorption of pressure, landing in the same spot during a spike. The step for spiking in volleyball. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, Step 4, Step 5.
Spiking skills activities. In improving the skills, there are some activities that can be done. First, Throw a ball and spike it to the floor and try to catch the ball after bouncing from the wall. Second, repeat the first activity. This time, the ball is thrown by a friend, then try to spike the ball using spiking technique. Third, hit and spike the ball to the target point which the ball is thrown by friends. Make sure the spiking technique are right. Next, the combination of some skill like serve, receive, feed or set and spike. For example, A will serve underhand serve, B will accept and C will set the ball to B to create spike. Lastly, make 2 rows of players. One line become the feeder or setter and one more become the spiker. After set the ball, the setter will become spiker and spiker will hit the ball to the goal set. Then they will change the position.
Another way to improve our spiking technique is through small-sided games. There are few types of small-sided games. The first one is wave hitting. This game will be conducted with 3 players each side. One player as a setter, while the other 2 are the ball receiver and the spiker. The game starts with a serve towards the opposite side. The receiver then will pass the ball to the setter and the ball will be set for the spiker. To vary this game from a normal game, the court's length will be reduced for the players to focus on ball control and the accuracy of pass and spike. The second type of small-sided game is backcourt spike. This game will be played with 3 players from each side. The player roles in this game is receiver, setter and spiker. The game starts with a serve into the opposite side. However, in this game, the setter will set the ball behind the attack zone. The game will improve the player's ability to control the ball and increase the accuracy of the ball, spike and pass. In both of these games, the point will be counted based on the spike success. Each of a success spike will be given 1 point. The game will end after a number of success spikes has achieved. The last type of small-sided game is spike with a target. In this game, a chair will be placed at both 1 and 5 position. A player will throw the ball and the spiker will spike the ball towards the position. While throwing the ball, the thrower will shout either line or cross court and the spiker will spike the ball towards the direction shouted by the thrower.
Hello, today I'm going to explain about blocking in volleyball.
Blocking is a defensive playing action at the net performed by one front row player or a combination of front row players jumping near the net in front of their opposing attacker. So, what is the purpose of blocking? Blocking is an act of the man defense against the opponent's attack and helps to slow down the speed of the attacks to make it easier for the back row to pass. There are 3 types of blocking, which are single block, double block, and triple block. Single blocking is when one person blocks the spike, but this method is usually not effective enough to stop a spike, but it's more of a way to help the back row pass better. Double blocking is when 2 persons would block the attack of the opposing team's hitter. Triple blocking is when 3 people would come together to block a spike. This method is the most effective and powerful since there are more hands to cover more surface area. So, here are the steps of blocking. When blockers block, they want to make sure that they jump straight up and down, not drifting from one direction to the other.
they shrug their shoulders to get the optimal height and penetrate over the net. Their hands are nice and big. Their hands are pointing to the middle of the court on the opposing side. Blockers need to be ready to move either to their right or their left with two different footwork patterns. First, two-step shuffle. Second, swing blocking techniques. So how to apply two-step shuffle and swing blocking techniques? This is how to apply two-step shuffle. And this is for swing blocking techniques. Here are the common mistakes made while blocking. First, not bending knees while standing up. Second, staying too close to the net. Here is a demonstration video. Not every set will be perfect, and sometimes the pass will just get too close to the net. Sometimes you can just either hit it or should set it over, but it gets difficult. So that is when tipping comes into play. There are two types of tips, close and open hand. Close hand tips are when you make the fist and punch the ball upwards over the net. Open hand tips are a little trickier. They involve using your fingertips or swiping downward. There is also a way to defend against attacks or tips from the other side. When you are blocking, keep your legs straight and kick them slightly forward. The goal is to make an angle out of your body. Also make sure you don't hit the net or accidentally kick the player on the other side of the net.